Welcome to all of those who have found their way to this specific channel. This message comes from the Spirit Collective. We wish to address the specificities of channeling in terms of the human evolution. This channel has already spoken to the idea and the definition of what channeling is in one of her most earliest videos. We wish to speak to the concept of channeling as something that is much more normal than mystical. In fact, many of your human individuals who were able to achieve some of the greatest feats in humanity, whether intellectual feats, physical feats, metaphysical feats, it does not matter which kind of feat. If it was perceived as supernatural or divinely inspired, it was a channeled state that led to that feat. The reality is, anyone who enters a state of flow, who forgets time, place, sometimes even themselves in the process of fully embodying and enjoying a specific activity, they are already channeling. See, as many types of channeling exist in the spiritual world, that many times over is the amount of channeling that exists in humanity nowadays. Anytime an individual taps into a hobby that allows them to spend hours upon hours focusing on a specific art form, a martial art, an intellectual pursuit, a physical pursuit, a feeling of flowing and ever-presentness in community or in solitude. These are all states of channeling. So, more often than not, when you truly enjoyed a specific activity, there's a high chance you were actually channeling. Now, some of you may say, well, that can't be true because the only activities I enjoy are having a fun time and playing. Well, then we say, what if play is your form of channeling? Humanity tends to diminish the idea of play very drastically, unfortunately so. Why do we say unfortunately so? Because it is through play that creativity is activated, that you align with your own creative force, and that you are becoming more aware of what you actually want and what your desires are. It is in those spaces that spiritual help can come through with greatest ease, that divine inspiration can attach itself to your brainwaves with greatest flow. So why avoid? Why avoid this specific state of play, of enjoyment? Because you have been trained to think that you are not worthy of it, that you must earn rest, you must earn time to play. And that is very sad to us. Humanity was created to live a life of ease and play, to play in the sandbox of earthly creation. And yet greed and power and programming has led you astray, making you believe that all you are worthy of is to become a machine of efficiency and effectiveness, that you are not worth anything unless you have been productive, whether in the last hour, the last day, the last year, or the last 30 years. Again, we say that is a very unfortunate lie that has been programmed into your minds. Yes, one could go down the conspiratorial road of, well, this was all orchestrated by the elite few who needed a type of slave race to keep the economy afloat. Well, that is one way of interpreting these things. We do argue that you simply let your own power go. You allowed yourself to lose yourself. You forgot your own worth, and you refuse to love yourself. In fact, many of you even refuse to like yourselves. How can an individual truly allow themselves to be authentically themselves if they have not even learned to like themselves? Channeling is one of the most authentic and purest form of self-like expression. It is in these moments where you like yourself most, where you like your own company most. And then you might say, well, that makes sense because something else is taking over and I'm not consciously there. And we would argue, perhaps we could encourage you to reinterpret it as your most authentic self takes over. And you forget all the programming, the fears, and the self-abasement that you carry with you day in and day out. Perhaps that is the better way to interpret the state of channeling. So then, many ask, how could I ever love myself, let alone like myself? Like myself, let alone love myself. Many of you we see carry great self-hatred. You carry the voice of your parents' criticism within you. That voice has become so loud. And whether it is your parents, society, or anyone who has spoken darkly into your life, we encourage you to bring those thoughts forward in whichever shape or form you find is most constructive to you. That could be very organically in your dream time, to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be released and forgiven. For it is truly when you forgive yourself that you learn to start liking yourself. In solitude, you can encounter moments of these lies coming forth, loud voices in your mind. Try to experiment with them as if they were a separate entity from you. Call them a different name. Have a dialogue with them. Why would you say that about me? Why would you think that about me? And while we encourage you to follow the trail, do not get lost in it. Simply explore with curiosity what is that made you dislike yourself. As you practice these little moments, whether they are 2 minutes a day or 50 minutes a day, small moments of increasing self-awareness allow you to let go of all these loud burdens that scream in your mind about your unworthiness and your need and urgency for productivity. Humanity was not made to be productive. Humanity was made to be. We thank you for all of those who have truly found ways to be. We appreciate your efforts, not just to rest, but to explore yourselves. We appreciate your efforts to set time aside for those moments where flow state is birthed, and you, whether you know it or not, enter channeling mode. In those moments, a lot is shed from you. And in those moments, great help can come from the divine to encourage you to be even more genuinely yourself. The beauty of channeling is that anyone can do it. Anyone can tap into it. Perhaps not necessarily in the trans-channeling mode that you see here in this video, but any flow state that is achieved is a type of channeling. And just as, call it, impressive as a verbal channeler is, so also impressive is whatever is birthed in your own personal channeling mode. And again, do not mistake produced in channeling mode as productive in channeling mode. For most of the times when you channel, when you are laughing out loud, enjoying your friends or the company of loved ones, it is in those moments that the vibrations are strongest. Organically so, relaxedly so, with no forcefulness and almost no brain activity, truly. So if you can let go a little bit of your productiveness today, and instead choose to just be, you are making steps towards your own channeling mechanisms and modes. Thank you for your attention, and may peace be with you. Goodbye.